Hey, welcome back to That'll Do Garage. Thanks for joining me today. We got a fun project. We're gonna put this sucker back in the motorcycle today. Shouldn't take too long. I got my teenage son down here with his muscles to help me throw this thing around. It's been a while. I hope you didn't wait too anxiously for this video, but thanks for your patience. Should be a good time. Let's get started. So it's not exactly your typical motorcycle weather day, but that's okay. We're in the garage today. It's actually 60 degrees in here and not too much snow, so we should be just fine. As we get started, I have to apologize. The last video ended with no timing chain wizardry in here, and I told you there would be a new video for that, but honestly, it was going to be a really dumb video. You just have your camshafts, you have your timing chain, and it would have been a super boring video. I mean, I just stood here and slowly put things together for about 3 hours, and I followed the book, and honestly I really needed the book. I had to keep rereading steps over and over again, and I definitely suggest follow the directions. There's really specific orientation for the cams, and certain times you're supposed to put the chain on the gear and not at other times because you need the slop, and you know, it was just kind of a hassle. So that would not have been the world's most exciting video like I usually make. But so I put all that back together. I turned the engine over, gosh, a lot, like 30 or 40 times to make sure that everything stayed in time. And basically there's a gear here and a gear here with a chain connecting everything down to the crankshaft. And it's got to all stay at just the right orientation to each other. There's a timing mark down here, and then on each gear there's 2 dots that should align with the top of the cylinder head. So I got everything perfect. I put it all together. I spun the motor over a whole bunch, like 30-40 times, and then I made sure all those dots still lined up when they were supposed to, and that way I know that it's timed properly. It's not getting progressively out of sequence. So that's good. I feel good about that. You know, it's okay. Like there's some stuff that's bothering me still. Like I can't find this valve cover bolt. A lot of these are actually, not a lot, but at least 2. I think these 2 maybe are stripped out. I did have one of the bolts that secures one of the cam bushings was broken, and it wasn't broken from being like over torqued. It just honestly just broke as I was putting it back together with no torque on it, like fatigue. So I did have to replace that, but it wasn't too bad. Home Depot had the right thing in stock. So we're making progress. It's still pretty dirty, nasty, and oily in here. I got to get all that cleaned up too, but maybe I'll do that once it's back in. So the plan for today, take that funny looking thing, shove it in that funny looking hole. That's about as complex as it gets. The only thing I've done here in the last 14 months is I cleaned all the oil and road grime off of the frame rails. And I went ahead and took this one out because, you know, if you watch my video where we removed this thing, we fought and fought and fought with trying to get the engine out of the frame. And then at the very end, I realized that just bolts in. So I should have taken that out from the beginning. We're going to put it on a floor jack, like here-ish, and just roll it in. And hopefully that'll be good enough to get it in the ballpark. And then I can start fighting with, you know, brackets and bolts and bushings and other things that start with B. I think I had this part off and this part off, so it was a bit lighter. So you can probably go on that shaft and the front here, a little bit of same here. The rest can go right there. Ready? Here. Grab up here and we'll tip it forward. Now you gotta can you let go? How much am I holding? So really slowly just slide that thing in and push it forward, yeah. Okay, I can hold it now. So if you go back to the jack, and push the handle down towards the floor, like, yeah, again. Okay, that's good. Now come towards me. Ooh, that's pretty close right there. Go up a bit more. Now come towards me. There. That's good right there. Well, that wasn't so bad. Just slotted right in there. It's just sitting there right now. It's waiting to fall off at any moment, but that would be rather amusing. You can see it's pretty close. Bushings and mounts are not too far off. So I'm gonna throw a ratchet strap around it just to keep it in the frame. And then start putting the bracketry back together to hold it in. That was way easier than I thought it would be. Quite happy about that. So hopefully you can see these mounting positions now. It's always these rubber bushings and then like a bracket or some sort of pin. Obviously that's a bit too high, so I gotta get the back end of the motor to come down. But if you look over here, this is not lined up with that, so the front end has to come up, so the whole thing has to kind of go. But I'll start playing with that. There's brackets up here, bracket here. Over on the other side, I think it's just more of the same. Bracket here, down here, and then the same thing on the front here. So I'm gonna just start working on that and plugging away.